The teaching was very intensive here all these years, and students had a lot of possibilities to work by themselves, to make the whole planning, the whole goals, desires, to work with the rules of the music, to help the personality of the students to grow and become really musicians. Every university knows that there is this kind of legendary school already in Madrid, having great teachers and great students. For a teacher to work with talented young musicians is, of course, the situation where you learn yourself a lot. You are at the same time a student of your students, because discussing about music and experiences different kind of emotions, different kind of ways to understand things, gives a wider opinion of what's all about. You become more and more free as a teacher about your own opinions. So you learn to know the possibilities of the world. So there is not one way, there is not two ways, there are a lot of ways which are bringing the same result. To play the concerts, it's one of the most important things, of course, because this is the event which you are practicing yourself. Every musician knows that the first real rehearsal is the first concert. That gave the reason to learn new repertoire and to be able to bring it to the stage. And this is the place where the music happens. How you are singing, how you are playing it into the world, so that is the way how the world is reacting to you. Nowadays we have our YouTube artists. Somehow it's sad, because this is not the natural way. You don't play chamber music in YouTube, you have to do it personally. Experience is personally also on the stage and not through recordings, for example. Recordings are a great thing, but it's mostly not honest. And this honesty is very important. Musicality is our sense, like we have eyes and we have ears and nose and mouth. This is very often forgotten. The courage to trust the own musicality. Musicality is something like a collective understanding of something which is much, much larger than what we are ourselves. It's like a network of some truth which expresses itself as music. Sounds alone are only waves, but when there is an information inside the wave, then it gets important. And this is exactly what we are learning. And this information is, in music, some inner power of life itself, which we are experiencing as humans. Piano trio is a difficult chamber music group, because usually chamber music is string quartet. And there are so many string quartet concert series. And very often the piano trios, they don't keep together. But anyhow, important thing is that they have learned how music is working and how everything is combined together, and to understand each other, to be able also to play in the orchestra, able to communicate with music, with colleagues, which is not only to play piano, for example, or violin. The piano trio repertoire, for example, is enormous. And the greatest pieces of many composers you can find from the piano trio repertoire. So there are good and bad things in everything what has now happened in the future. Concert life, it's very great. The negative point is that it's powerized by the biggest agencies. So it's very hard for many talented musicians to come through the barrier there. Competitions, a lot of good things, a lot of challenges to young people, and a lot of unhappiness, a lot of wrong decisions. Normally university education has very good points, aspects, but at the same time, so it very easily puts all the students into the same box and doesn't accept complete different personality very often. Those personalities must go their own way.